Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution of any country on earth. It was handwritten by Prem Bihari Naren Raizada. It stands for national objectives such as democracy, socialism, secularism, and national integration. Constituent Assembly took almost 2 years, 11 months to frame Constitution for India. Total 389 members were present in the Constituent Assembly, which after partition reduced to 299. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was appointed as the President of Constituent Assembly and Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar as the Chairman of Drafting Committee. After partition, Jawaharlal Nehru became the Prime Minister of India.
This is Abul Kalam Azad. Yesterday we were wailing about our independence, and today the complete country is shaking with the news of partition. Indians were the sole reason Britishers set their rule up, and we were the only ones that freed ourselves from the trap. Yet again we stand with the news of partition. India is on the verge of the biggest problem it has ever faced. Either we are going to emerge victorious or become a complete disaster. I hope all Indians are together and we somehow will handle the situation peacefully and emerge successful. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment comes which rarely comes in the history, when we step out from the old to new, when an age ends, and when the soul of the nation long suppressed finds utterance. We end today the period of misfortunes and India discovers herself again. Thank you.
Well, the first and the most obvious fact which will attract any observer is that we are going to have a republic. India knew few republics in the past olden days, but those republics were small republics. India never had anything like the republic which we are going to have today. Also, it is for the first time that it becomes open to the humblest and the lowliest citizen to deserve and become the president of such a big country. And this is not a small matter.
Sardar Patel played a decisive role in the Constituent Assembly. He said, "It is not our intention to commit the minorities to a particular position in a hurry. We need to make a genuine foundation of secular state. One community can eradicate the differences leading to the discrimination of the minority communities."
I am Sarojini Naidu. We will be framing that charter in the constitution that restores Bharat Mata and fetters her rightful place as torchbearer of liberty, justice, peace and love. Standing in their memorial house with its roof of snow and walls of sea, once again in the history of humanity, she will rekindle her lamp of wisdom and inspiration to illuminate the world on its onward march to freedom.
As we all know, women in this country have stand for rights, for equality, seaters, for justice, and I strongly believe that women are as strong as men and they should be given the rights to do everything they want to.
I'm Rajkumari Amrita. On this land where women are just looked upon only fit for producing children and for serving their lords and masters, I think that some attention has to be given to this group of society too.
There is a black law in Punjab known as the Land Alienation Act. The purpose of this amendment is to preserve the law. It is highly detrimental to the depressed and other non-agricultural classes.
Akan was a tug of war between languages, and the only language which had the power to become the national language of our country was Hindi.
Hello, I am Gopal Swami Iyengar, and the final decision is that we should adopt Hindi as the language for all official purposes for the Union.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Today, I would like to give you 3 warnings regarding to the Constitution, democracy, and the constitutional working in India. If we wish to maintain democracy not merely in the form but also in fact, what must we do? The first thing in my judgment we must do is to hold fast to the constitutional methods of achieving our social and economic objectives. It means we must abandon the bloody methods of revolution. It means that we must abandon the method of civil disobedience, non-cooperation and satyagraha. When there was no way left for the constitutional methods for achieving economic and social objectives, there was a great deal of justification for unconstitutional methods. But where constitutional methods are open, there can be no justification for these unconstitutional methods.
We, the people of India,
having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression of belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949
hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.